Here's a quick close-up of the wing of this conversion from foam glider to RC. I want to show you a couple pieces on the wing that are important. First piece being the back side of the wing, the trailing edge. I added 2 pieces of light ply because the rubber bands that we're going to use for holding this onto the fuselage, the tension is going to be so great that you'll damage the back side and create either big bends or divots, or you actually might even pull the rubber bands in and create real serious damage on the back side of the wing. The epoxy line, you can take a note of it right here. That's that yellow line. For whatever reason, it did create a little bit of a yellow sheen or the yellow hue on this build. The ailerons, right over here, you can kind of make out the cut mark that I have right here. I was very meticulous in ensuring that the ailerons were cut very clean and very sharp, so I used a brand new X-Acto blade for this, and how they're held on is with this brown packing tape that you are seeing right here. The underside of the wing, here's a little bit of a look at the Spar build that I had. I dremeled out these locations right here, and I used plywood, or basswood I should say, for the spars. I didn't use carbon fiber because the carbon fiber rod, the size that I needed to go this entire wing length, was about $6, whereas all the basswood spars I needed here was $2. So that was a huge benefit. The underside where the ailerons are installed, you'll notice there's an angle to the aileron on this edge facing more towards my finger. This is flush on the wing and this is angled out, because I'm going to need that room for when the aileron has the throw. So I have enough throw room to have a good up and downward movement on this aileron. The servo installation, for anybody new to doing any build on your own, we want to take special note of this. They're facing opposite directions. If you install these facing towards each other, meaning these heads, this one's going to the right and this one is going to the right as it's shown here, the ailerons will move in the same direction, and of course we want them to move in opposite direction, one up, one down. This is a E-flite Brushless 450 that has more than enough power and is adequate for this size aircraft and for its weight. I mounted it with a light plywood piece here and just hot glued it to the foam itself. I did an epoxy in this particular case. If you look at the image gallery, I'll flip it over and you can see the installation of the wiring from the motor to the ESC right here, and then the clear packing tape covering it all the way up to the back, which is the battery compartment. This is the last piece that I had installed, or pardon me, that I had cut out of the fuselage, and the reason is I wanted to install the wing to make sure where the CG would lie, and so I cut this bay according to taping the battery on the bottom and seeing where it would sit based on my center of gravity. Piece of Velcro in here. All my wiring is being fed through the holes of where the wings used to be. So just to give you an idea, I'll pop this out. That shows you right in here, you can see that, which is part of this battery compartment right in here. It works out really well. The wing rods, I had hand drilled these with a drill bit and just did a wooden dowel right through. I added some strength with a piece of light ply, again drilled a hole, put that through, and did a hot glue gun piece on that. Backside, here is the elevator, and this fuselage is deep enough in terms of being able to cut it that I just simply mounted the elevator, or pardon me, the servo for the elevator into the back, dug it out, did a little bit of hot glue, and then took a wire rod and pushed that all the way back into the servo horn right here. And you'll note in the images that I had mentioned that you shouldn't take packing tape onto this wood and for a hinge. This is actually a monocoat that I covered it with, and that way I was able to, underneath, do a installation of some horns that I then glued into this elevator.
probably want her camera. Oh, okay.